It is crazy that this game releases in 2 weeks and nobody seems interested in it. Nobody seems amused with it. All of the talk on social media has been criticizing it, and these developers still double, triple, and quadruple down on the awful moves they've been making. I have a few different things to show off, but before I get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, join the community in my live streams, and consider supporting through Patreon or YouTube memberships. Now, first of all, these developers have actually been pretty quiet on social media over the past couple of days. They've just been reposting things like fan art and talking about the demo being available for the Steam Next Fest. This demo barely has anybody in it. It has, as of right now, 104 players in game, and the all time peak was 167, which is crazy when you think about the fact that the media was shilling for this game. You had tons of articles releasing from PC Gamer and The Gamer. I'm shocked that Kotaku hasn't written about it at length, but they're too busy simping over Leon Kennedy and writing articles about how they want Leon Kennedy to be gay as fuck for them. But 167 is nothing. They hired voice actresses like Jennifer English for this project, so they clearly are able to put money towards it, and they clearly think that this is going to be a success, but I don't really see how that's going to happen, especially when you look at the Steam store stats. It is number 260 in wishlist activity, 339 in top wish lists, but it only has 9,783 followers, and this game doesn't have pre-orders up. And that is generally bad when you are a small team or have a game that is going to be smaller, because let's say all of this backlash is happening on social media and tons of people are talking about it. Well, there are ultimately going to be some people who support them. If a post gets 1 million views, there's bound to be maybe like 10 or 15 people who would go, "Oh, I'll support you." But you don't have pre-orders up for people to monetarily support in the moment. And in 2 weeks, when the game releases, there's already going to be 5 major titles that have launched, and so people have spent their money, and then they'll think to themselves, "Oh, I'll just buy X Voto later down the line when it's on sale." It's not smart, but a lot of these slop games don't put pre-orders up, like Tales of the Shire, like Relooted, even games like this. So it's almost like a strategy to get more people there on day one, but the people don't show up because the modern audience doesn't support titles like this. They don't play video games, and so you're just losing out on what you could have potentially gained. But the developers on these Steam forums are going a bit crazy. I know I had previously talked about them locking down some threads, but over the past like 48 hours, it has gotten significantly worse. There are dozens and dozens of threads that have been locked down, and they either use the excuse that, oh, the discussion is becoming off topic, so we have to lock it down, or the developers are bringing up facts about the game. Like they'll say this, "Oh, it's not actually supposed to be a accurate representation of a historical period, it's just fiction inspired by it." So then, after they've responded, they end up locking it down, which is just, in my opinion, a very bad look. I think that you should basically leave every single thread unlocked, and you should basically allow everybody to voice their opinion, unless, of course, they are voicing legitimate hatred and harassment and they're trying to dox developers, things like that, actually breaking rules. Otherwise, you should not be sitting here and locking down these threads. But what is also funny about the fact that they haven't allowed pre-orders is that they can't filter through 99% of the conversation, because if you own the game, you can respond in owners only forums, and they can't lock the forums into owners only because nobody owns it right now. So then they'd have zero interaction. I personally think that we are seeing more of these modern slop developers not put up pre orders so that they can't use the excuse that they could lock down the forums, so that comments are left and interaction is left, and then they can play victim. We saw that happen with Relooted, and after Relooted, this is personally my opinion. I am under the belief that they, of course, just want another angle in which they can play victim. Of course, this game features a strong, independent LGBTQ plus cast, and so they can use that angle and sort of almost farm hate and farm backlash and farm criticism. And then they can just sit here and go, oh my gosh, you guys are being bigots because they think that they're going to get more articles written about them and more interaction. But that isn't going to happen. You see posts like this where it actually starts out with being positive and people saying that they love it and they're in love with this game and they're so excited about it. They are locking down the thread because they're claiming that it is off topic. You would think that they would want the positive threads to stay unlocked, and that isn't even happening. They are going so crazy with the amount of lockdowns that they've been doing that they are silencing people who actually like the look of it. And there are some people who are saying, I played the demo, it's a complete mess, there's no way anybody should be spending money on this, going and asking questions like who the target audience is, and it's straight to ban land. These developers are just not taking the situation very well. They do not want people talking about this game in a way that they deem as negative, and ultimately, they're not going to gain sales this way. Maybe if they had responded a little bit more professionally and they actually took our criticisms seriously, they could have gained some new customers, but that is definitely not going to happen. They think that the modern audience is going to show up to support them, and I get it, right? I always was told if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say it at all, and always be kind to the less fortunate. In this case, these people are mentally ill, and so I naturally feel a little bit bad for them, but I also love to point and laugh at absolute idiots like this because they're fucking around and finding out. They're saying, don't forget to wishlist and note the release date on your modern agenda, and well, clearly nobody did that. So I think maybe one or two people who actually watch this video are going to play it, and I hope that you get your money's worth. I hope that you actually enjoy it. I hope you do not hate yourself by the end of the experience, but I think the vast majority of people that have interacted with this game on social media or watched videos across YouTube and have actually seen this game are not going to be purchasing it, not going to be playing it, and well, I think that ultimately these developers have fucked around. Now they're finding out and they realize that their slop game is not going to sell. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this important and informative, make sure to give it a like, share it, and subscribe to the channel. And if you didn't, give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I'll talk to you all again in the next video really soon.